welcome all my budding Beyoncés of math. Is it good to see you again? Maybe, no, still can't see you. And welcome to another episode of Knock Maths Out the Park with me, Mr. Clark. Today we are looking at times tables. Not just the 5 times table, but all the times tables, okay? This introduction one today, we'll look at some of the basic concepts I use for practicing times tables at home and how I teach them to improve my knowledge to become the Beyonce of maths. That's what I'm aiming for, especially when it comes to our times tables. So, job number 1, when you start looking at your times table, first of all, you have to learn to count. Now this might sound really basic to you, but being able to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and up, and then go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is really important. Being able to count up and down. Now once you've mastered that, you'll then move on to counting in other ways. You'll learn to count in 2s, 5s and 10s. Being able to count is fundamental to being able to do your times tables. So I'd encourage you to spend a lot of time practicing and memorizing how to count in these sequences. So if I'm doing it, here's a few things that I try. So if I'm doing, let's say I'm counting in 5s. I write it down on a bit of paper. If you don't have a big whiteboard like I do, you write it down on a bit of paper. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 and 50. So I've chosen my 5 times table. Obviously in my other videos I will be going into particulars with different types of times tables, but in this one I'm going to be looking at the 5 times table. So first job is learning to count up and back. Now you can do this in whatever way you want. You can go into videos online and you might find some jingles and songs. You might decide that you just want to try it like this way that I'm going to do it. It's up to you. However you find it, make it interesting. Counting can be boring, make it interesting. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Then practice counting down, just as important. 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Now one of my number 1 strategies that I use when doing this, I make sure that I start rubbing off numbers, okay? So if you've got a bit of paper, you can rub off those numbers and start taking them away. I take away the first one, last one, and quite often my middle one first of all, okay? I will replace it with a dot or just leave it blank. Then I'll practice doing it again. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and back down again. Slowly I can remove more and more of these numbers, replacing them with dots. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So I would then try again. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And in time you will get quicker and quicker at being able to count in this number, this order. Now, my next step that I use when I'm learning my times table, once I'm able to count that times table, I then divide it into levels, okay? I break the sums into categories, level 1 being the easiest, level 2 being the middle ones, and level 3 being your harder ones. Level 1s are usually the easiest ones because it's maybe something like 5 times 1 and 5 times 10 because they're your first numbers and your last numbers. Level 2 will maybe look at some sums you should already know from other times table, and level 3 generally is the ones that you've not learned before. So I'm going to be talking about it in this way over the next few videos. I'm going to leave it at that today. So remember, number 1, practice counting. Step 2, at each of the questions now we're going to be looking at how I break my questions into levels for the 2 times table and upwards. Please remember to press the button that's somewhere round about there to subscribe. Thank you for all the support and all the good comments. I will see you later. And how could I forget? Hopefully, with a bit more of this, we can knock maths out the ballpark and become the Beyoncés of maths.